Hello and welcome. My name is Esther. I'm an artist, a spiritualist, and a guide. I primarily work with people and clients in person. However, I will be offering online for all of you as well, just because it has been requested. And so, of course, I would be more than happy to connect with more of you as a soul coach. And if there's elements that you're facing that are more specific to you and how you can find the guidance to overcome it, move through it, and to truly shine your light and elevate, because we are in such a miraculous time. And of course, I am here for you because we are all here for another. So what I wanted to bring up today was ultimately the gratitude and the sweetness for life that you're kind of reopening to. So this year has been challenging, and it's also been a call to reopen the heart, right? Because when we go through things that close our heart, or where we felt like, oh, can I trust again? Is this safe to emerge? You know, if you're hurt by different relationships or disappointments, sometimes it can be quite scary to reopen again. And this is where you're now being called to kind of reemerge into that energy, because that's ultimately for your highest good. And there's a lot of good coming into you. Or coming towards you and within you, where Spirit is saying, you know, don't forget to really reopen that beautiful heart, especially for yourself first and foremost. And that actually has to start with the self. It's kind of like as we heal and we grow, it also gives us this opportunity to say, well, where could I deserve better? Where can I honor myself more, so as to really hold my boundaries, and also to speak my truth, and also to honor what you're willing and not willing to put up with anymore. And where you can kind of discern, well, where are those true alignments and friendships really honoring you? And to reopen your heart, because it's really about the inner love and the inner honor and respect, and also where you can reopen your heart so that the things that are elevated and meant to align with you can come in and connect. So it's about the sweetness again, right? Connecting back into the sweetness. So we'll get some advice here from Spirit, where you can connect back into the sweetness of your life collective. So we'll just do a foundational oracle here. So sweet. And again, under the deck, hope. Yeah, so keep those hands open, keep that hope and that faith in where you're being guided to go, because you are reopening, you are re-emerging. Oh, wow. So you got a major arcana, which is awareness. Bringing awareness into what truly serves you, right? And also bringing an awareness of, what does your heart really want? What do you truly want? And can you just allow yourself to receive that in? Allow yourself to connect with elevated energies that really honor your heart, right? So the awareness of your internal and external world has certainly been a big focus this year. You also got accelerated motion. Wow. So stepping to that true North Star, right? In this 8, the success. Looking up at the stars, looking up at your dreams and your aspirations, and saying, there's got to be more. You know, we can't always be stuck or stagnant for forever, right? Spirit's like, well, of course not. No, you deserve greatness, and that's what you're coming into. So you're bringing awareness into where you're wanting to set your sights, what it is that your heart is really wanting to experience, and where you can really harmonize into honoring that. So we'll pull some tarot here, first for Awareness Collective. So what is it that you're being made aware of, both within your being and outside of your being? What is your heart trying to make you aware of? Now that's a big question, right? What are you feeling? What are you wanting more of or less of in your life? What are you really dreaming of and hoping and wishing upon a star for? So awareness, what is the awareness bringing for the collective for their highest and best good? Thank you, Spirit. Best advice for the collective in regards to awareness. Thank you. Okay. So 3 came through. First, you got the Temperance. Exactly. So that's like Archangel Michael. It's a lot about the balance and the scales. It's about the patience of your growth. And so you're being made aware of that you are divinely protected, right? You're being made aware of your need to really stand in your truth, right? Because the Temperance is also connected to the center sun, the solar plexus, your will, ego, identity. So how are you showing up to the world and why? You know, are you still learning to let go of different masks as you step into your authenticity, truly also reestablishing your will? So your willingness to do and achieve for your highest good. So it's like, where are you realigning with your heart to reopen that is actually that is deserving and aligned for you? And where are you learning that deeper inner radical honesty and truth to say, you know, what is it that I really want? And what is it that I'm still holding on to that maybe is not for my highest good anymore? Where is my heart guiding my way into more of this sweetness, more of allowing this gentleness in my life? Because it's also about adaptation, right? Composure, reflection upon where you were and where you're going, and reflection on where has your heart healed this year? Where can you be really patient and graceful with your own changes and evolving as well? Because we don't heal overnight and we don't evolve overnight. It takes time, and it takes the willingness to choose better for yourself. It takes the willingness to have the courage to really step into your true self, to shine your light in the world of whom you really are and what you're willing and unwilling to accept, and where it is that your heart really wants to emerge into. Because this is about a spiritually positive mentality, right? The Temperance is about like harmonious relationships, and especially first developing that harmonious relationship within yourself, sending your own heart love from you, right? Because you're remembering that you come first. You are immensely valuable. You are deserving of love. You do deserve love. And you are a loving being. And so this is about more sweetness and bringing your awareness into the heart of the patience of where you're going and the patience of where you're developing to really honor the true self, standing tall and courageous, being resilient in your identity, really honoring and being proud of your identity and whom you are as an authentic and unique soul. And also really honoring and being honest of what does your heart want? What are these new steps and these new openness that you can retrust, to reopen into the world, to reopen your heart. Because this is about your great talents as well becoming realized. And it's also about your creative perspective and your inventiveness, your resilience and your resourcefulness to move with the times of change, but not to close, especially if you went through changes that were harder this year. Majority of the collective has, like that energy keeps coming up in all the reads, regardless of how different all these readings are. There's this transformative energy this year in 2025 that humanity's really been facing within ourselves and also in their external environments. And so that has really impacted the hearts of humanity. And I think this is where Spirit is saying, like, soften to the sweetness of life again. Holding gratitude for each day and all that you have now, coming back to that present moment and really honoring your heart, honoring where it's been healing and overcoming, but also honoring not to close it, honoring it to remain open, and finding your optimism and your creativity and your resourcefulness and your willingness to retrust again, to also open. Because, oh wow, you got the wheel upright. So this is a turning point. This is a time of change. A wheel of fortune is like, this is like wow, it's like the cycles of life, right? But it's like change, evolution, and transformation, right? This is like the success and good fortune and destiny. The wheel is turning in your favor, right? So it makes a lot of sense, because if you went through a cycle change this year where you felt that your heart was hurt, or that it was closed at one point, this is where Spirit is saying reopen it, because this is the time of, this is where the wheel is turning in your favor. There's a lot of abundance pouring in, streaming in, because this is about destiny and happiness. This is about aligning with your destiny. This is about new connections and growth, new life cycles that are now streaming, because what goes down must come up, right? So, and interestingly enough, this is also connected to the will ego identity. So there's a lot of transformation in whom you are, collective, where you've really allowed yourself to emerge in your authenticity, to step into your truth. And that's where this awareness has come in. It's like the awareness of self, your inner truth, the awareness of all that is, of the cosmos, but also the awareness of your soul and spirit in human form. The awareness of the truth of whom you are, the miraculous gift of whom you are, and the loving soul of whom you are. So reopening your heart and really stepping into your authenticity, holding the bravery and the courage to embrace that, is really what's formulated this will of change, right? That's what bringing in the wheel of fortune and all the success in your favor now. Because you had the willingness to really emerge as your authentic self and work on the solar plexus, your identity, removing the masks and saying, hello world, this is who I am. This is me shining in all my glory. I overcame all these shifts and changes, all these elements in my life. And yes, my heart has been impacted, but it has not closed. It's remained open, because your outcome is justice, which is amazing, because this is actually the heart chakra. So justice is like divine justice. It's upright. So this means like the spiritual world has your back. They've seen all that you've done. They've seen all the work and all the pain you've gone through this year. They've seen all the transformations that you have been faced with this year. They've seen how your heart has impacted, but how you have worked through it to really allow it to heal. And now it's like the re-emerging of your heart remaining open. And that's where the justice is coming through. That's where the success is coming through. Because justice is, I get what I deserve, right? The justice card is saying, my heart is deserving. I am deserving of love. I am a loving being. And I would like more love and more unity that lights up my heart, to feel recognized, loved, and seen by that around me, as well as I pour that out for myself and for all those around me. Because it's about finding your equality, right? And it's about harmony and independence of spirit, right? The justice is like the scales. It's that balance. What is just, what is fair, what is honest, what is owed to you. And it's about maintaining that balance and understanding where sacrifices had to be made, changes had to be made, shifts within your being had to be made, and really honoring that, because this is where you've taken the just and moral and higher view. And this is where Spirit's also saying, like, this is why you need to reopen your heart, because there's so much that's changing in your favor, right? Especially with this justice and this wheel of fortune. It's like you're now being rewarded, right? Because there's always cause and effect. Everything that you do will come with a cause and effect. And so all the good that you're doing is pouring that good karma into you. It's pouring that good karma into all the abundance that is pouring into your life, all the goodness to come. If you're not already seeing it, you're about to. And it's really about reopening to the sweetness, the gratitude, the heart-centered way of being. Because now we're going into accelerated motion, right? And that's what brings you to the site of your dreams again, your aspirations, opening to that North Star, opening into those aspirations that are shining bright for you, feeling that illuminated, shining even on her chest there where the heart chakra is in the center of the chest, right? Feeling that light on your face and reopening, receiving, allowing the receiving to come in. So with this accelerated motion, this clearly means that, yeah, there's a lot that's emerging for you, spirit or soul, from spirit. So it's like, have no fear and don't close that beautiful heart of yours, because all that you've been through was for your highest good, even though it's not always seen that way. Sometimes we need to like kind of look back, and then we're like, in hindsight, we're like, oh yeah, I understand now why I had to go through all those things, because it actually led me to this, or it led me to this opportunity, or it led me to this new relationship, and it led me to this new location or home or working environment that's way better, where I feel valued and loved and aligned. That's where your North Star is coming in, right? And that's where spirits keep that heart open. That's what you're obtaining this major arcana awareness around. Is the truth of the self. So spirit, with this accelerated motion, North Star, for the highest and best good of the collective, what advice do they need to know? What is coming up for them? Thank you. Beautiful. Anything else, spirit? Anything else for the highest and best good for the accelerated motion? Nope, just that. And I should have just trusted that. So another confirmation, just trust what comes out first. Right? And there's always a chunk of cards. It's like a little story. It's beautiful. Wow, so you got a few in reverse. So, yeah. Wow. Yeah, so first you got power with the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles is throat chakra orientated. So this may be where I believe we even mentioned earlier, bringing the awareness to the self, and where now you're learning what you do and do not want, your boundaries, what you do and don't deserve. And that's a lot with the Four of Pentacles as well. It's like your wealth and prosperity, but also letting go of the past, because this actually came up in reverse. And that's like obstacles that must become overcome. And that's what the past taught you. It was like, where you kept yourself limited, or where you didn't feel like you could speak up to express your needs, or even how you would like to be treated or valued, or where maybe there was unalignments with your worth, or being really recognized and appreciated and seen for your beautiful heart and whom you are. And maybe where you were hurt, or maybe where you felt abandoned or left out in the cold. So this is where Spirit's saying, like, those elements of this year that you've had to go through, that's why there's such a prevalent kind of energy around this collective of don't close the heart, keep the heart open, because this is what you're overcoming, is learning your voice, to feel safe to express and feeling safe to communicate, right? And feeling heard, feeling recognized, but also overcoming the mind, because the throat chakra also affects the mind. And it's like where your beliefs about self have also transformed in what you used to put up with and what you're no longer willing to put up with. And that's where the heart piece comes in as well, because the heart is your highest truth. And the heart understands that anything unkind in the mind, or our beliefs about self that keep us in lack or limitation, they do not come from the heart, right? They come from fear or conditioning or learnt habits or patterns that were passed down, that were conditioned. So this is where the Four of Pentacles in reverse, it's like removing the old, letting go of old possessions, old people, and coming back into generosity and sharing, right? Because the Four of Pentacles in reverse is like a power card, but it's like, this is where you've been surrendering to what needed to be let go of and honoring it in your heart, understanding that it was maybe not the highest good for you anymore right now. Doesn't mean things cannot heal and come back around. They certainly can. That's where forgiveness comes in, right? And so there's a forgiveness piece of the self and others, or situations that really just need your heart to really shine a light in the truth of, right? Because you are certainly deserving, and your heart is valuable, and you're so deserving of love. So please don't close it. Keep it open, because that's where all of the energy is turning in your favor, because these lessons and these learnings were actually to show your heart where it's meant to be guided to heal and let go of what wasn't really honoring your heart, or where you weren't honoring your own heart and your own inner honor of your honesty of your identity and feeling safe to be you, right? So that's amazing, because your accelerated motion will be dependent on that, right? This is streaming now from the accelerated motion and all the advice from that, because Spirit is saying this accelerated motion is where you're just letting go of what was, really honoring it through the heart. And then now you have more generosity and overpouring to share, because when you become more whole in yourself, relearning to open your heart once more to life and to others, to retrust in relationships again, that's where this accelerated motion comes in. That's where the universe can connect you with what you deserve and for your highest good. That really honors your heart. You also got Two of Swords in reverse, which is amazing. So this is about division, but it's like where you overcame that fighting, right? This is changes that might have been in the wrong direction. So it's like knowing where you do and don't belong. So you're redirecting yourself, as well as Spirit guiding you where to redirect. But now it's about trusting in Spirit of where you're being redirected, because maybe there was a division in from what you knew and what needed to shift in your life this year into where you're being redirected into this accelerated motion for where you're meant to go, for your path, for your heart, for your learning, and for your growth, for your soul's growth. Because the Two of Swords is a lot about indecision and stagnation and painful choices. But because you got it in reverse, that means that those painful choices, that division, that confusion of what needed to be released, or it has already passed. That's already in the past, right? That's already happened. So that means that because this is in reverse, Spirit's saying that's already happened. So now it's about honoring it through the heart and allowing it to be what it is, letting go of it with grace and love. And and I don't do really relationship chain readings, but there was quite a prevalence in the energy of the collective this year that had to do with relationship shifts as well. So if that was relationship orientated, you might want to check out some of my other readings that may align with you, to gift you a little more advice on how to overcome what we need to let go of, or relationships that we need to let go of, with love and with grace. Because it really is about honoring the other that we say goodbye to, or the circumstance or situation that we had to let go of, honoring it with love and grace and respect. Because that's ultimately a part of where you can make peace with it, but where you can also reattain and establish your focus for your being, your highest good, and reopen the heart for the future and retrust in relationships again. Because not every circumstance is the same, right? Some are for seasons, reasons, or lifetimes, and others are to teach or grow us. Some need to separate to heal and grow strong and come back together in harmony again. I mean, the story will be different for everyone. Sometimes they can reemerge, and sometimes they're meant to just be apart, right? But regardless, it's honored, because your outcome is you got the Ace of Cups. So this is accelerated motion into deep wish fulfillment. The Ace of Cups is one of the best cards in the deck collective. That's about new plans, new ideas coming into fruition. It makes perfect sense with you having the Wheel of Fortune turning in your favor, because this is clarity of mind, right? This is about brainstorming and reopening to the newness that's coming in for you. This is about holding gratitude for each day, holding gratitude for all that you have now, to make room for more to pour in for that alignment. Because when you're in alignment within yourself, when you're willing to open the heart and rebloom, that's when the universe can connect in what you really deserve as well. Because this is about laying your cards out on the table, saying, hey world, this is me. This is realizing the truth of your vision, but reattaining your focus onto it, refocusing onto what's logical, what's practical, but what is it that your heart truly aligns with? What is it that your true identity and your authenticity aligns with? What is it that the awareness of self has brought into you, right? Your truth, the truth of whom you are. And that's where this accelerated motion of your true North Star is coming in. This is the Ace of Swords. Sorry, I think I said Ace of Cups. So yeah, really it's where you're going to feel like an overpouring, that you have more than enough to give. If the Ace of Cups came in intuitively there, then that's also an energy here for you. But with the Ace of Swords, this is like, I honor my truth, right? It's a sword of truth, integrity, morality, honor, right? A sword of light. And so it's like fast forward movement and breaking through obstacles, finding your victory, right? Like standing tall, being really proud of how far you've come, being proud of this accelerated forward movement of what you're achieving. And that's where Spirit is saying, like, don't close your heart this year, because with your heart remaining open and your willingness to wish and dream upon your star and allowing yourself to rebloom from all the learning of this year, that's really where primarily in 2026 you're going to really see the fruits of your labor coming in. And this is going to be really fast forward movement because you got the Wheel of Fortune. So everything's turning in your favor. I mean, my gosh, you've got the awareness and the accelerated motion. It's like this is going to come in faster than you can realize, especially when you open the heart, right? It's never going to be lost. This is all coming in for you. Like, you can discern how fast or as slow as this comes in, but it's really pertaining to your openness of life again, your gratitude of whom you are, the true sight of self, and the willingness to reopen, to come into life, because you've got this creative intelligence, right? Whom you're becoming is the King of Cups. This is amazing. The King of Cups is very connected to the intuitive elements. This is like your higher knowing and really trusting yourself and where you're being led. So it's no longer relying on the opinions of everything outside of you or trying to fit into a mold that's already been established in the world. It's actually about fitting your mold. It's about fitting you, because this is about becoming a mature and emotionally stable person, right? The King of Cups is like a king that has more than enough. And that's interesting that came into my mind when speaking about the Ace of Swords. I thought of the Ace of Cups, and it's interesting because you're the King of Cups. So you do have that overpouring, that wealth and abundance to have more than enough to share with others, to be balanced and give good advice, to share maybe what you've learned for the betterment of all those around you, but also for the betterment of your work and where you're going and the relationships that you're now wanting to pour into your life, because you've learned from what didn't work, both within yourself and outside of yourself. So now you have true sight of what you would like, that actually aligns with your heart, that honors your heart, that allows your heart to really trust others, because Spirit is saying, yes, you can trust. Like, there's a lot of goodness coming in. What didn't work was for your highest good. It was to show you. It was to teach you. It was to guide you. It was to realign you, right? Because this is where you will have control over your emotions now with the King of Cups. You've been through quite an emotional year, most likely, and that's why the heart has come in as such a potent resonance in this energy of this reading, because your heart was so deeply impacted. And so this is where Spirit is saying, because of that, you've actually obtained a higher view of emotional intelligence, because you've had to move through so many emotions. You've had to move through so much energy that really impacted your heart, that really affected your heart, that was really painful or sorrowful or loss or uncertainty. And that's what's being healed. That's what's ultimately brought you into this emotional intelligence, because of your willingness to move through it. And this is what also brings you in for the wealth of knowledge, because when you understand when you go through obstacles and challenges in life, that's ultimately what bursts our wisdom. It grows our maturity, right? It grows us in every way. And that's why these obstacles and challenges are necessary for human development. Not easy to go through, but it's honestly a redirection, a realignment for your highest good. So it's not something negative. It's just we sometimes have to look back to understand the meaning and the value and the learning that we received in it. So with your heart reopening, it's about you being a really caring person, you being a very sensitive and beautiful soul. You really believing in your work and holding like a high connection to your unity, right? To those that you connect with, to your friendships, your family, your loving relationships. They mean a lot to you. You feel a lot. So that's why with having been hurt, it's like you're reconnecting to the heart to reopen it, knowing that there's a lot of love that's inpouring for you, and you're learning that inner love of self as well. That's why the wheel's turning in your favor. That's why there's this accelerated motion, because the more that you open the heart, the more that can pour in to connect you for your highest good. Because you are a person who learns to master the emotional world, right? So you're very much an empathetic person, probably a very heart feeling centered person. So that's amazing. Sorry, I just had a dear friend stop in to say hello, so naturally needed to have a hug and a visit. So you may that may be a special part of this reading. With you being such a heart-centered person, it may be that you understand that relationships are gold, because they really are, right? Whom we have in our life and whom we can hold those deep, like unconditional loving bonds and really support each other's thriving and really carry each other through whether things are easy or not easy. That's really what matters. That really shows you who your people are. Those who can be there for you in the greatest of hardships where you're transforming and you really need to be held and carried and honored through even your hardest and darkest of times. But also in tandem with that, those who can support your thriving in your successes, in your dreams, your aspirations. So that's really what's coming through for you, because I feel that more than ever, collective, because the person who is very near and dear to me, he has always been there through my hardest times as well as my greatest achievements. So I think that that's what you're also recognizing, collective, is like with reopening your heart, and really especially with this King of Cups and honoring this energy of you. This is where you're a person who learns to master the emotional world, because you are someone who is very open in your heart. You feel a lot, you care a lot, you are most likely very empathetic, and you also really honor the relationships that you hold. It's really hard for you to no longer love someone, even if that relationship transforms away. You'll always hold love there. And that's unconditional love. That's a very phenomenal, important way of being. So I think with everything moving in your favor, collective, and you re-attaining the remembrance to keep that beautiful heart of yours open, it's because that heart of yours is your magic. Your empathy and your kindness, your sensitivity is actually so needed, and it's so valued, and it's so important. And that's where you can embrace those relationships that you really love. Hug those you really love. Understanding and remembering that your relationships are your gold. They're the most important element that we will ever have in this lifetime, is our bonds. And especially those who really are there for you when you can't even be there for yourself. Those are really the relationships that stand out, and those are the ones that you can honor, that really remind you and teach you that you are so valuable and you are so loved and you are so protected, even when you go through these periods of challenge. And you are also honored and celebrated and loved in these periods of success, forward movement, and newness, as you reopen your heart into realigning with those true, unconditionally loving, honoring bonds. So much love and light to you. And I just think that this is a wonderful reading. It's all very heart-centered, and you clearly have a huge heart. So I thank you, and truly we're here for each other. So if you felt like this reading resonated with you, please like, share, comment, subscribe below, because I'm still so new on here. So even the chances of you finding this are rare, and also affirms how much more you needed this reminder that you're doing really well. So keep that beautiful heart open, focus on your gratitude, rebloom into life, and allow all this overpouring to connect in. All right, cheers.